Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone's had a good day so far. I know we've had a full day full of content. You got to hear a little bit about the core products a little bit earlier, some really interesting research. You got to hear from Natalie and Liz on account intelligence, which is mind-blowing, especially when they go and show you behind the scenes a little bit of how the data works. And I can't be more excited to be up here talking to you about how we're going to connect tech buyers and sellers with our data-driven insights. So my name is Jason Gladue. I'm the director of lead gen. I'm up here with my esteemed colleague, Marta Kelsey, who is our director of product management. And we're going to try to be as efficient as possible today. I know we're the only thing standing between you and happy hour. And I'm sure some of you are in market for a cold beverage. No more bad intent jokes, I promise. And so we're going to cover off on just a few things today. I'm going to go over the demand gen landscape and some interesting research we've got there. Marta's going to pop back up here and talk about how we're rethinking the tech buying process. Also walk you through how you can receive some of those high quality opportunities today, and we'll be back up at the end to talk a little bit about how you can get involved. And so before I jump into the demand gen landscape, I think it's important to talk about why we care about the demand gen landscape. My whole job is making sure that we build products, services, and solutions for you. And so it's important for us to get some external validation for what demand gen marketers want and need in demand gen partners and in programs so they can drive their business forward. So we worked with a company called Radius Global. They primarily specialize in tech research. And we interviewed and surveyed over 400 demand gen marketers in the US. Primarily focused on what are those purchase behaviors, what do you care about, and what is really going to drive your business forward. And so they gave me, I think it was like 100 pages of research. I pulled out 3 to talk about today. And so the first thing that jumped out to me was attribution. There's a lot of different attribution models out there, and these are just the ones that would fit nicely on the screen. So I need just a little bit of audience participation. I know it's late in the day, but just like maybe one hand raise would be fantastic. So who here uses First Click as your attribution model of choice for your demand gen programs? Interesting. Okay. One. Thank you. What about Last Click? Okay. Any like algorithmic or like weighted lead scoring type models out there? One. Okay. Very interesting. So I got about 4 people who use an attribution model. The rest of you just maybe use one. There was one on here that was I don't know, so that's possible too. But what's interesting is there was a laundry list of them, and most demand gen marketers who took the survey had more than one. They were using more than one attribution model, which really isn't that surprising when we consider the business landscape is constantly changing. We're changing how we're judged. Demand gen marketers are being asked to do more things with less. And so we're trying to figure out what's the best way to judge our programs moving forward. The next thing that was interesting was that demand gen marketers are no longer responsible for just generating leads or demand from one sector of the buying committee, right? You're not just responsible for IT. You're not just responsible for finance or HR. 76% of you are responsible for the entire buying collective. So you've got a lot more work on your plate. You've got to understand the entire buying collective. That collective can be small in some companies and for some products, or very, very large, and that changes how you have to run your demand gen program. And 65% of you are now being judged based on how much revenue you bring in or how many opportunities you create and the pipeline associated with those. That's hard. That's really hard. And it kind of explains why we have different attribution models. So I'm going to leave this up here for a minute. These are the top attributes that you all care about. 10, which is really interesting. But I think it pretty much just boils down to 4. So the first one is speed. We want leads, programs that move and generate sales and pipeline faster. So we want to take our 9-month sales cycle, make it 6 months, make it 3 months, make it 6 weeks. That's hard. That's not easy. We want a partner, a demand gen partner, who can use data. Data powers a lot of the decisions we make today, probably more now than ever before. It's not just demand gen programs, it's not just intent, it's how we make hiring decisions, it's how we make firing decisions. And so you're asking demand gen partners to use data to make your programs more efficient, to make them more effective, to make you spend less and get more. You want a partner who's easy to work with. You're now responsible for the entire buying collective, most of you. You're trying to do more with less. You're trying to layer on intent. You're trying to make things move faster. So you need a partner who can do that with you. And that looks like, hey, can you send my leads or any demand I generate through my CRM? Can you generate leads from my account list? Because that's what sales cares about. But at the end of the day, I think at least four on here, are all about quality. You're trying to drive the most highly qualified lead you can for the lowest CPL and as fast as you possibly can. And 59% of you, of demand gen marketers surveyed in this study, are sending leads straight to the sales team. Not to a nurture path, straight to sales. And so what does this mean? That's a high number. But I just want to walk you through an example of what this looks like. So I'm an IT pro. I'm doing an SD-WAN project, for instance. I download a piece of content, and we all know what happens. Because you're working with a good demand gen partner, they're able to pipe that data and that contact information straight into your CRM. So the sales rep sees a new lead come in, it might tell them some firmographic data about me. Maybe they know what asset I read, for instance, or downloaded. So the sales rep picks up the phone and immediately calls me. He's got a new lead, he needs to work it. His SLA with marketing is 48 hours. He immediately calls me, I don't answer. Email, I don't answer. And so now you've created friction in the buying process, not just friction between the sales rep and the IT pro. You have friction between sales and marketing, right? This lead isn't good. The demand gen program you're running isn't any good. And the marketer's saying, well, I'm doing what you asked. But how could we make this better, right? We know that IT pros consume 17 plus pieces of content in their journey. What if that sales rep knew where I was in that journey? Because that was actually my only second piece of content, so I'm not ready. What the sales rep is lacking is context. Contact level data is very easy to acquire. Zoom info, Discover org, it's easy to get. But what we're lacking is context. And the IT buyer's world is changing faster than ever. They're consuming more content now than ever because now they have to educate the buying committee, right? IT is involved in the entire buying process. They're not always the most influential person at all times, but they're involved nonetheless. And they have to constantly educate all members of the buying committee. And if the sales rep had context, because 60% of us, 60% of demand gen marketers are going to send the lead straight to sales anyway. If they had context, they might be able to make a more efficient conversation. They could know the best way to follow up or where they were in market. I can get this. So, who here would be interested in talking to buyers when they want to buy? It's not when they, okay, good. A few, some late hands going up. I hope you want to talk to them when they want to buy. What about if we could figure out a way to generate a consistent flow of high quality opportunities? Not just one every now and then, but 5 a week, 10 a week, 30 a week, 100 a week. And who would be interested in generating opportunities without the burden of having to constantly produce fresh content quarter after quarter after quarter to keep IT pros or any part of that buying collective interested. For the ones that raised your hands, the ones that I see nodding in the audience, I think we have a really unique opportunity to help you answer these questions. And for those that said yes, we have a very interesting opportunity to help drive your businesses more efficiently and more effectively to help you ultimately hit your marketing and sales goals. And so I'm going to invite up Marta to walk us through what exactly that opportunity looks like.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Jason. Okay, who's ready for some fun product stuff now? Just kidding. Data's awesome too. No, I get the pleasure of sharing with you guys what this opportunity, means for you guys and how we're approaching this opportunity. How we look at it is really we're trying to rethink how B2B tech buying works and help businesses make better purchase decisions, as well as help you guys be more efficient in how you market and sell these solutions. I'm going to show you a little bit about that approach today and what we have in the works. So let's jump in here. So the approach that we're taking really starts with the millions of businesses out there. They're using Spiceworks regularly to connect with peers and connect with tech brands like yourself to make business critical tech decisions today. And the community engagement enables us a unique opportunity to aggregate and create these data-driven insights or these recommendations back to other businesses who are evaluating solutions. And because they're on Spiceworks actively researching and getting advice from their peers on their tech decisions, we can give them the opportunity to raise their hand and connect with you guys directly. And those are inbound opportunities because they are in market, they are evaluating solutions, and they're reaching out directly to you guys. And because we know about the business's intent and what they're doing at that time, we can share that intelligence with you so that your reps have more effective conversations with the buyers when they reach out. And ultimately, drive you guys consistent, high-quality opportunities. So as a product manager, I get to speak with these IT pros often, and I want to share with you guys some of their words on how thankful they are to have a place like Spiceworks to help them with their tech advice. James here from Reno says it's so great to have so much input from who actually use a product when trying to determine what solutions to go to. There's so much insight on how products work, pros and cons, and even the vendor support in the community is epic. So thank you guys. We've got Mr. T here who shares he's been a member for a few years, and he can honestly say it's helped, and that more than that, it's helped influence some of his purchases and choices. And so these tech buyers are on Spiceworks regularly, and we're here to really help them with the purchase decisions. So I'm going to walk you through. This is a view you've seen a few times today. We want to make sure it's ingrained in everybody. This is our strategy and how we look at approaching this. Let's use this data we have about businesses' intent, right here, this data icon in the middle, and serve personalized tech recommendations to businesses when they're in market and evaluating solutions, as well as provide you guys intelligence about those businesses. But ultimately, what we're going to dive into in this session is using all of that information to connect you guys more effectively at the right time in that buying process. So what do I mean by connections? I mean IT pros raising their hand right on Spiceworks to connect with your reps. You guys would consider these opportunities in your sales pipelines. And we're in a unique place here because we, Spiceworks, have you guys active on Spiceworks regularly too. Other products and other marketplaces do not have that. We also have the trust with our users to connect with you guys. We've been doing it for a long time. And so that's kind of really what we're most excited about here. And so I'm going to walk you through a couple examples of what this looks like today. So Connections as a product is in beta for tech buyers. It's been in beta since the beginning of this year. And we've been really scaling up our experiences to help them and train models and understand the scalability of how these hand raises are going to work. But the product that we are building right now, packaging up for you guys to sell and access for your reps, is still in development and will be out next year. But we couldn't wait, and we wanted to get in front of you today to start getting feedback. And there'll be an opportunity at the end of this session to share with you guys a pilot partnership opportunity where we're looking for about 20 or so clients to help us really finish out developing the features and functionality of that product. So you're going to see this in the experiences, and I'll walk you through what that means now. So let's jump in here. This first experience here is we have an IT pro, and she's using our help desk solution on a daily basis. And one day she sees that there's an insight being triggered up here, that she has more than normal amount of ticket information based on other companies like hers. In this example, it's networking. And so we've started to not only provide her that insight, we've got now an opportunity for her to directly connect with active vendors right on Spiceworks to get help upgrading, replacing technology, et cetera. And this connection happens via private message over our community platform. And she can reach out to more than one vendor at the same time. And this is what the private message looks like, where she can inquire about an upgrade in this example. And this is the product that's in beta. Beta means it's live and active. These brand reps are receiving these connections today. And over here on the brand side in the control center, what we're building out is what the platform looks like. This is what the inbound leads, inbound opportunities would look like when they come to your reps. They would have kind of a notification of what the main reason why somebody is reaching out, if it's a demo, a quote, a upgrade, that sort of thing, and have the ability to communicate back with that tech buyer in real time. In this next example, we've got an IT pro from a small business in education, and he's evaluating video conferencing technology. And he comes to the marketplace and looks at a review page where he's trying to understand what his peers are saying about this. So we're able to aggregate up some insights, not only from the reviews on that page, but also from discussions throughout the whole community, and tell him that, hey, this product is trending upwards amongst other small businesses, as well as it has a pretty positive sentiment in other people in the education industry. It's really building confidence in his evaluating of this solution to where he can directly reach out to the rep right here through this button. I'll show you what it looks like. And the widgets that we've built out enabled the tech buyer to stay in the private message system on Spiceworks or request that you follow up with them via phone call or email, and they can consent and share that with you directly over the platform. Again, reaching out to try to understand more about it. And like with the previous example, comes right into the control center. We'll come right into the control center to be able to easily connect. So a couple things I want to point out about this experience here is you'll notice here on the right, we've added some basic information about the account that Clark, this tech buyer, is in, what industry, what the account name is, where it's located, all of those crucial account details, as well as what is his signal strength that we're seeing from account intelligence, and the other vendors he's interested in, which you saw a little bit of deep dive of that in the last session. So these products are truly integrated. And you have the ability to send kind of PDF quotes back right over the platform. So really making the selling process more efficient for you guys and enabling you guys to just make those sales happen. This next example we have is our service provider example, where we're connecting IT pros with service providers on Spiceworks. So once they fill out information about their location, if they want someone who's local or not, they can also tell us what their project needs are, as well as what their technical environment is, so who they're looking for help, service providers who have experience in that technical area, or maybe they can share with us what technology they're evaluating so that they can find someone with experience in that. But once we match them, we provide some insights on why that match happens, and we can show through what their certifications are, what their projects they've completed previously, because all of this information exists on the Spiceworks platform today. They're able to easily connect with up to 10 service providers at once. And like with the previous examples, stays over Spiceworks and can include some additional information about that project need. And this shows you an example of what the reps would receive as far as email. So yes, you saw the platform in the previous examples, but this one shows an email example where all the information comes straight into that rep's inbox as well, and has a quick, easy way to reply back to it. Not having to leave your email, staying right in there we know that the tool fatigue on the sales side is getting high. So last here, we have a decision maker from a larger company, enterprise in size, who's planning a storage project. We know storage projects require lots of requirements and aligning across a larger buying collective. So we have a tool called the Project Planner that allows tech buyers to organize their requirements and implementation details through this tool, and it gives them a project plan that's like a PDF that they can print and share out with other people in the buying committee. But because they've shared that information with us in Spiceworks, we can introduce them to the vendors that are most appropriate for them to start evaluating after they've aligned on their requirements. So that's where here showing an example of 4 different vendors with some insights showing which ones are popular and trending and so forth. And again, with the previous examples, they can connect with all of them at the same time to start evaluating and request to get demos and pricing and so forth. And same seamless experience over on the vendor side. And some of the functionality we're evaluating is being able to set up meetings directly through this application tool as well. So these are just a few of the examples that we have. We've got several others, and we're continuing to scale these up. And I'd like to share a couple of the initial learnings with you guys so far. But to say that, we are on an exciting journey here. So we've already reached hundreds of connections made, and these are starting to scale exponentially and across the different segments. And so look for more of that to come soon. And with those hundreds of connections, the learnings that we've seen so far, first one is around time and trust. On the buyer side, they're liking that the insights are aggregating a lot of the content to reduce their time researching. And they're trusting them because they're coming from peer discussions and words that their peers said on Spiceworks. And so that's an exciting thing. We did get feedback that, yes, we like the recommendations, but we also want to see the list of all the vendors in a given segment. So some of these experiences have already evolved and are continuing to evolve to show, hey, these are recommended, but here's everyone you need to go evaluate to start shortlisting. As far as the buying collective, we know that these are growing and they're different based on segments. And we've seen that their needs based on different roles in the collectives are unique. So we break these down into 4 kind of key areas. The first is business fit, which is the part of the group or the people in the buying collective who are truly trying to understand if the technology they're evaluating is going to solve their business pain point. And so we use things such as most popular and trending amongst like industries or like company sizes to help them evaluate that. Tech fit is really, will the technology that I'm evaluating fit into my technical environment I have stood up as an organization? So we can use sentiment, and we can use insights such as words commonly mentioned with these products to help evaluate tech fit. User fit is, will my users adopt it? If this is software that other employees are going to use, or if it's even the IT people themselves, they can understand that from peer sentiment as well. And lastly is budget fit, is can I afford this? Will this fit in my price range? So that's another insight we're looking to evolve as well. And lastly here, we're hearing that this is a better experience overall. The buyers like the control of the conversations and when and who to reach out to on the seller side. And the brand reps are liking the inbound receiving of these hand raisers, if you will. So it just seems like it's overall coming together as a good fit. And like I said, we're learning a lot and we're continuing to evolve these, and we'd love to share some ideas and needs from you guys over the next 2 days too. So, but one of the main questions I hear whenever I get to share all this information with you guys is, how do I get my products in that? I want to sign up today and I want to get it in there. So I'm going to invite Jason back up to kind of talk about how you guys can get involved today.
Thanks, Marta. So there's, yeah. So there's two primary ways that you can get involved today, right? It's in beta, so you can get involved right away. The first is manage your product pages in Spiceworks, right? There is let's see if I can do this. There's a little arrow where there's an edit button. If you've got an existing product page, make sure the specs are up to date. We know a lot of products have changed. A lot of products have come to market. Some have end of life, some have end of sale, some are end of service. So please just make sure your products are up to date. If you've got a new product, you can go to the community and add -product to get your new product page listed. The second way is to engage in the community. I know there's a lot of green guys or green gals here. For those of you that don't know, the green guy and green gal is our nomenclature for a marketer account who can go into the community and engage with IT pros who are having issues or challenges and just need some help, right? We want you to be involved in that conversation, not only so you can make the connection, whether that's on your product page or inside the community, but so you can help educate them, right? Because when you educate first and sell second, you can help get customers for life. They trust you. And so those are the two primary ways. And as Marta mentioned, we've got a pilot partnership opportunity or program, right? We're looking for roughly 20 folks to help out. And what we're primarily looking for are people who are going to help us, build out what does that final UI look like? What are those next set of features that are really going to make this product work for you and your organization? And yes, we're going to need a little bit of feedback. We're going to need a little bit of your time every week, every other week, 30 minutes maybe, just to have a quick conversation to make sure that we're collecting all the feedback from you. And so you're going to be able to target those late stage buyers, get all those real-time notifications, get account intelligence integrated if you're a part of this opportunity. You can still be a part of the beta, but if you want to be a part of the pilot partnership opportunity, you get all of this good stuff. And the best way to get involved is to come see us at the hub. We've got a sign-up form at the hub. We're going to take 20-ish folks. Marta and I will be there all day tomorrow, so stop by and say hi and ask us any questions. Liz will be there from Account Intelligence as well, so any questions we can help answer.
Yeah, so please definitely come chat with us about the pilot partnership if you're interested. Jason and I are going to be co-running it together, and we look forward to working with you guys on that. To just kind of sum it up here, hope you guys see this opportunity we have in front of us as we're rethinking how tech buying works. By helping businesses first and foremost, get the right technology into their organizations, but also and ultimately helping you guys grow your business, increase your sales velocity, and do so efficiently. So thank you guys so much for sharing this time with us.
So we do have time for questions from the audience. Anybody have some questions?
No questions.
Right off the bat?
No.
Just kidding.
Okay, so you mentioned that the product pages are how you need to keep those up to date. What if you're an IT service provider? We have a managed service page. Would that be the same thing?
Yes. Is that my girl Nicole back there?
Yeah.
Like I can't see you. Yes, so there are service provider pages at the bottom of the community. Click service providers, make sure those are updated. And I know we're working together to figure out how to better connect service providers with what products that they're experts in. So we'll continue to build out functionality for that as well. And same thing with channel partners. If you guys have channel partners or are a reseller, we're working on best aligning in our marketplace data structure who's gold partners, silver partners, all that sort of things. So if you're on a review page, you're not just connecting with the brand rep directly, you can also connect with local service providers as well as resellers and channel partners. So yeah, look for more of that stuff, and we'll be sure to post all of those details into the partners group in the community whenever that functionality comes out.
Jason, I've got a question for you. What's the difference between a connection and a band lead?
Sure. So it's a good question. So we all know a band lead. IBM really coined the phrase, 20-ish, 30 years ago. And a BANT lead, at least the way that they're mostly generated today, it's mostly an IT pro, a BDM, somebody of that buying collective offering up information. But what you kind of lack is any context as to where they are in that buying, journey. You know that they probably have a budget, which mostly are built on business cases today. They've got a need, they're maybe identifying it, a timeline. They know that they need to get it done this year, but they don't know how long it's really going to take. And so when you think about a BANT lead versus a connection, one is really just offered up information, whereas a connection is that IT pro, in this case, really demonstrating that they have a problem and they are using the recommendations to really reach out and say, I really need your help, client, in solving my problem. I think the biggest distinction I can make is one of the connections I actually saw when I was looking through our experiments tab was like, hey, I need help. I've got server X, and I really need company Y. So I'm going to move companies, and I need your help, sales rep, in doing that, and I need to do it quickly. So that's much different than a BANT lead. We know that this person needs to move now, and they've already identified what company they want to move to. And as Liz kind of pointed out, big server incumbents tend to have the huge advantage. So this is a much more powerful connection and opportunity for you.
Thank you. Any other questions from the audience? All right.
One in the back.
Got one from the back. Got it, Ariane.
Hi, thank you. I'm just curious, when the connection is made with the IT buyer, what exactly are the fields of data that we have access to? Like, do we know, like, maybe you showed that they had, like, the earmark that you're experiencing more issues with switches than other vendors? I just wonder if you can walk through what exactly data we have access to when we make that connection.
Yeah, so it's because we're in beta, we get to experiment a lot. So each experience is different so that we can learn and collect data based on that. And part of that pilot partnership is going to be finalizing that list. But I can share with you some of them that are there today. On the cloud help desk example, I think it shows, I need help troubleshooting, upgrading, or replacing solutions. On the service provider one, we ask, what project are you starting, as well as your location, your company size, your industry, and what technology should be considered. And so you get a little bit more information. Same thing with the project planner. There's a little bit of more details about the actual project when you're doing a storage project. An example, another one we have where we're collecting is, are you researching? Are you upgrading? Are you looking for a quote? Those kind of things. And so we're trying to identify exactly what those key tags are, and we'd love to hear from you guys on what would be most useful to you. I am seeing overall that the connections that have a little bit more structured fields are providing more valuable for the tech sellers and the tech brands. So we'll be looking to do that, or to show more of those structured fields, as well as the tech buyers aren't opposed to filling it out. Good.
Awesome.
Anything else?
Yeah. All right. Let's give Jason and Marta a round of applause.
Thank you.
Thank you.